This video is created for informational purposes only. Everyone mentioned is treated with respect, and no harm or disrespect is intended. Viewer discretion is advised.
What do you tell a kid when you just drop me off? How do you just say she's not here anymore? How do you explain it?
Happy Monday, son. This is a fresh start to this day, and you can start off strong. Always remain yourself. You're the coolest, smartest, and funniest kid I know. 2 hours later, Romeca Meeks was lying in the street outside her son's school, shot in the face. The woman who pulled the trigger was arrested immediately in September 2025, but she was released shortly after, and as of the most recent reports, late 2025, no official charges have been filed. The case is still under investigation. September 8, 2025. A Monday morning in Chicago's South Loop, parents dropping their children off at school, the familiar rhythm of backpacks, lunchboxes, and goodbye kisses. Romeca Meeks-Blackmon, 31 years old, had just tucked a handwritten note into her 6-year-old son's lunchbox. She photographed it and posted it to her Instagram stories. She was proud. She wanted her boy to start his week strong. It would be her last post. Minutes after dropping him off, Romeca was confronted outside the school. A physical altercation erupted between her and another woman, and then, according to multiple eyewitnesses, her ex-boyfriend, the father of her son, allegedly placed her in a headlock. His current girlfriend went to their car. She came back with a gun. What happened next was captured on cell phone video by horrified bystanders. What happened next left a 6-year-old boy without his mother. And what happened next raised questions that a community is still demanding answers to. How does someone shoot another person in broad daylight in front of witnesses while the victim is being physically restrained and walk free claiming self-defense? This is the story of Romeca Meeks, a woman who believed in fresh starts, a woman whose life ended in violence while she was simply trying to be a good mother. Before we talk about how Romeca Meeks died, we need to talk about how she lived. Romeca Meeks-Blackmon was 31 years old. She was known to her friends and family as Big Meeks. Her mother, Tina McMiller, would later describe her as kind, sweet, loving, and an amazing mother. Those who knew her said she had the purest soul. She was the life of her friend group. Romeca was studying to become a nurse. She had dreams. She had ambitions. And she had a 6-year-old son who was her entire world. In August 2025, just weeks before her death, Romeca posted a carousel of photos and videos of her son starting first grade. She wrote, "To my son, there is nothing you can't count on me for. Even when my world is falling apart, I'll make sure yours is always perfect. May first grade be great to you. I love you, and I'm always your biggest fan and supporter. Even when my world is falling apart, I'll make sure yours is always perfect." Well, that's the kind of mother Romeca was. The kind who wrote notes for her son's lunchbox, the kind who showed up no matter what. The kind who loved fiercely and without condition. But Romeca's world was more complicated than her Instagram post suggested. She was a single mother navigating co-parenting with her ex-boyfriend, Carlos Losos Way, who went by the name Rackboy Loso on social media. Carlos was the father of Romeca's son, and like many parents who are no longer together, their lives remained intertwined because of their child. But Carlos had moved on. He was now in a relationship with another woman named Holly Johnson, and according to public accounts, Holly and Carlos also shared a child together. 2 women, 1 man, 2 children, and according to Romeca's family and witnesses, a history of escalating tension. Reports suggest that Romeca had filed a restraining order against both Carlos and Holly. The specific details of that order have not been made public, but its existence tells us something important. Romeca felt she needed legal protection. A restraining order isn't something you file lightly. It's a formal declaration that says, "Stay away from me. Don't contact me. Don't show up where I am." And yet, on the morning of September 8th, Carlos and Holly were heading to the same place Romeca would be, her son's school. Monday, September 8th, 2025, started like thousands of other Monday mornings in Chicago. Romeca woke up, got her son ready for school, and wrote him a note to tuck into his lunchbox. "Happy Monday, son. This is a fresh start to this day, and you can start off strong. Always remain yourself. You're the coolest, smartest, and funniest kid I know. I love you so much, and you make me so proud. Have a great day. Mommy loves you. Love, Mommy." She took a photo of the note and shared it on her Instagram stories. It was 7:30 in the morning. She drove her son to his school near Kermack Road and State Street in the South Loop, a busy area with residential buildings, businesses, and other schools. The kind of place where parents feel safe. Romeca kissed her son goodbye. She watched him walk toward the building, and then she turned to head back to her car. It was just after 9 a.m. when a white sedan pulled up. Carlos Way was driving. Holly Johnson was in the passenger seat. We don't know who spoke first. We don't know what was said in those initial moments. But what we do know, from multiple witnesses who saw what happened next, is that words quickly escalated into a physical confrontation between Romeca and Holly. And then Carlos got out of the car. According to eyewitness accounts captured on cell phone video, Carlos Way allegedly grabbed Romeca and placed her in a headlock. While he held her, Holly Johnson went back to the car. She returned with a gun. At approximately 9:05 a.m., Holly Johnson fired multiple shots at Romeca Meeks-Blackmon. One bullet struck Romeca in the chin. Another hit her thigh. Witnesses say the shots were fired at extremely close range, what some described as point blank. Romeca collapsed in the street. Multiple bystanders pulled out their phones. Some called 911. Others began recording. The footage, grainy, shaky, horrifying, would later circulate on social media. And while the video quality varied, the witness accounts were remarkably consistent. On the video, you can hear a woman screaming, "She shot her! I saw her put the gun in the car! Arrest her!" Another voice yells, "He had her in a headlock and then she shot her." And in the middle of the chaos, Holly Johnson can be heard on her phone, repeating the same phrase over and over. "I have a license to carry. I'm licensed to carry." A bystander shouts back at her, "I don't give a f***, you shot somebody. What the f*** is wrong with you?" But Holly remained calm, still on her phone, still insisting she had a concealed carry license. Emergency responders arrived within minutes. Romeca was rushed to Stroger Hospital, but the damage was catastrophic. She was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Chicago police responded to multiple 911 calls reporting gunfire near Kermack Road and State Street. When officers arrived, they found a chaotic scene, witnesses in shock, blood on the pavement, and Holly Johnson standing near a white sedan still on her phone. Police took Holly into custody at the scene and recovered her firearm. Carlos Way was also present and was detained for questioning. According to police, the shooting was being investigated as a domestic-related incident, with all three individuals known to each other. But even as police began their investigation, questions were already being raised. If Holly shot Romeca in self-defense, why were witnesses saying Romeca was in a headlock? If this was self-defense, why did Holly have to go back to the car to retrieve the gun? And if there was a restraining order in place, why were Carlos and Holly at Romeca's son's school in the first place? Within hours of the shooting, videos of the incident began circulating on social media. The footage was graphic: blood-splattered pavement, a woman lying motionless next to a white sedan, bystanders screaming, Holly Johnson on her phone in green leggings and a black sweater, Carlos Way appearing distressed in the background. The videos sparked immediate outrage. Thousands of people commented, shared, and reposted. Many pointed out the disturbing claim that Romeca had been held in a headlock while being shot. Others questioned how this could possibly be considered self-defense. Carlos Way posted to his Facebook page later that day, "Worst day of my life." The post received over 9,000 shares and more than 7,300 comments. Many criticized Carlos for his role in the incident, questioning why he didn't de-escalate the situation and why he had allegedly restrained Romeca.
Romeca was kind, sweet, loving, very, very supportive, and an amazing mother. She loved her son.
She loved me, she loved her siblings, and I loved her the same. McMiller also revealed that she is now raising Romeca's 6-year-old son, her grandson. She said the boy has shut down since his mother's death. "I need y'all to pray for my baby," she said. "He has shut down. He don't want to be around nobody." Can you imagine being 6 years old and losing your mother in such a violent, sudden way? Can you imagine trying to process that kind of trauma when you're barely old enough to understand what death even means? On Friday, September 12th, just 5 days after the shooting, Chicago police announced that Holly Johnson had been released from custody without charges. The news sent shockwaves through the community. Romeca's family was stunned. Witnesses were outraged. And on social media, thousands of people demanded to know how this was possible. No charges had been filed. No arrest had been made. The investigation, police said, was ongoing. That same Friday, Tina McMiller stood at the corner of Caramack Road and State Street, the exact spot where her daughter had been killed, surrounded by family members, community leaders, and supporters. She demanded justice. "Someone has to pay for this," she said. "She didn't deserve it. I don't care what you did. It's not right." McMiller also called for legislative reform, specifically urging the state to enforce the Illinois Health Reform Act of 2021, which includes provisions for mental health resources and violence prevention. She said she wants systemic change, not just for her daughter, but for every family torn apart by gun violence. Later that evening, hundreds of people gathered for a vigil in West Englewood, outside Englewood STEM High School. Pink, white, and silver balloons were released into the sky. A memorial board was covered with messages of love and grief. Balloons bearing Romeca's nickname, Big Meeks, floated upward as her loved ones wept. Romeca's cousin, Chardra Bays, spoke to the crowd. "We are here to support an amazing baby. I ask that you give us strength. Give us strength, Father, for every one of us, because we're going to need it in this moment." Tina McMiller, overwhelmed with grief, told attendees, "I am broken. I am so broken. The love she showed everybody, y'all showed it all back." But for Romeca's family, the vigil wasn't enough. They wanted answers. They wanted accountability. And they wanted to know why the woman who shot their daughter in broad daylight in front of witnesses was walking free. The release of Holly Johnson without charges sparked a wave of questions: legal, moral, and ethical. First, let's talk about the claim of self-defense. In Illinois, like most states, self-defense is a legal justification for using force, including deadly force, if a person reasonably believes they are in imminent danger of death or serious bodily harm. But self-defense claims are not automatic. They are evaluated based on the specific circumstances of the incident. Here's what we know from witness accounts. Romeca and Holly got into a physical altercation. During that altercation, Carlos allegedly placed Romeca in a headlock, physically restraining her. While Romeca was being held, Holly went to the car, retrieved a gun, and fired multiple shots at close range. So the question becomes, can you claim self-defense if you leave the immediate area, retrieve a weapon, return, and then shoot someone who is being physically restrained by a third party? Legal experts often point out that self-defense requires an imminent threat. The threat must be happening right now, in this moment. If someone has the opportunity to retreat, to de-escalate, or to leave the situation entirely, the claim of self-defense becomes much weaker. Holly Johnson went back to the car. That suggests she had an opportunity to leave. She had an opportunity to drive away. Instead, she chose to retrieve a weapon and return to the confrontation. And if witnesses are correct, that Romeca was in a headlock when she was shot, then the imminent threat argument becomes even more difficult to justify. How is someone a threat to you if they are being physically restrained by someone else? Then there's the restraining order. Reports suggest that Romeca had filed a restraining order against both Carlos and Holly. If that's true, then their presence at her son's school that morning may have been a violation of that order. So how does someone violate a restraining order, show up at the victim's location, engage in a physical altercation, and then claim they were acting in self-defense? These are the questions Romeca's family is asking. These are the questions the community is asking. And as of now, they remain unanswered. Let's go back to that note, the one Romeca wrote to her son on the morning she died. "Happy Monday, son. This is a fresh start to this day, and you can start off strong. Always remain yourself. You're the coolest, smartest, and funniest kid I know. I love you so much, and you make me so proud. Have a great day. Mommy loves you. Love, Mommy." A fresh start. Those were her words. She believed that Monday could be different, could be better. She was trying to instill confidence and hope in her child, the way any loving mother would. Instead, it became the worst day of both their lives. That little boy will grow up without his mother. He'll have questions that no one can fully answer. He'll carry the weight of this tragedy in ways we can't even imagine. And he'll always have that note, the last tangible piece of his mother's love. Romeca's friends say she was studying to become a nurse. She had goals. She had plans. She was building a future for herself and her son. And according to everyone who knew her, she showed up. She was present. She was an outstanding mother who always made sure her son knew he was loved. In one of her final Instagram posts, Romeca wrote, "To my son, there is nothing you can't count on me for. Even when my world is falling apart, I'll make sure yours is always perfect. Even when my world is falling apart, I'll make sure yours is always perfect." What was falling apart in Romeca's world? What struggles was she facing that she didn't want her son to see? How did a woman who was so devoted to protecting her child end up dying in the street outside his school? As of now, no charges have been filed in connection with Romeca Meeks-Blackmon's death. Holly Johnson remains free. Carlos Way has not been charged with any crime. The investigation, according to Chicago police and the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, is ongoing. Romeca's 6-year-old son is being raised by his grandmother, Tina McMiller. According to McMiller, the boy has shut down emotionally. He doesn't want to be around people. He's processing a level of trauma that no child should ever have to face. Romeca's family continues to demand justice. They have spoken out at vigils, in media interviews, and on social media. They have called for charges to be filed. They have asked for transparency in the investigation. And they have urged lawmakers to take action to prevent similar tragedies from happening to other families. The videos of the shooting remain online, despite the family's pleas for them to be removed out of respect for Romeca's memory and her surviving child. Those videos have been viewed millions of times. They have been shared, commented on, and dissected by strangers who never knew Romeca, but feel compelled to weigh in on her death. Holly Johnson has not made any public statements beyond her repeated claim at the scene that she has a concealed carry license. Carlos Way's Facebook post, "Worst day of my life," has since been deleted, but screenshots of it continue to circulate. And Romeca is gone. She was buried. She was mourned. Thousands of pink, white, and silver balloons were released in her honor. But she's not coming back. Her son will never see her again. Her mother will never hear her voice again. And the questions surrounding her death remain unanswered. This case is about more than just one woman's death. It's about the intersection of domestic violence, gun access, and the legal system's response, or lack thereof. It's about what happens when restraining orders are violated with no immediate consequences. It's about what happens when arguments escalate to physical violence and someone has access to a firearm. It's about what happens when the people who are supposed to be co-parenting for the sake of a child become so consumed by conflict that tragedy becomes inevitable. And it's about how we define self-defense in a society where more and more people carry guns. Having a concealed carry license does not give someone the right to shoot another person simply because they're losing a fight. Self-defense laws are meant to protect people from imminent, life-threatening danger, not to provide legal cover for escalating conflicts that could have been avoided. Romeca Meeks-Blackmon was a mother who loved her son. She was a woman who was trying to build a better life. She wrote encouraging notes. She showed up. She cared. And on a Monday morning in September, while dropping her son off at school, she was shot and killed in broad daylight. The woman who shot her walked free. Does that sound like justice to you? Romeca Meeks-Blackmon believed in fresh starts. She believed Monday, September 8th, 2025, could be a good day for her son. She believed in showing up, in being present, in loving without limits. Someone else had a different plan, and now a 6-year-old boy is growing up without his mother. A grandmother is raising her grandson while mourning her daughter, and a community is demanding answers that have not yet come. As this investigation continues, one thing remains clear. Romeca was more than a headline. She was more than a viral video. She was a person. She was a mother. She was loved, and she deserved better. Rest in peace, Romeca Meeks-Blackmon. Your son will always know that you loved him, and we'll make sure your story is told. If you believe cases like this need more attention, if you believe in demanding accountability, and if you want to follow what happens next in this investigation, subscribe to this channel. Because stories like Romeca's don't end with one video. They end when justice is served.